around. These animals are really getting, there's a cat over here and the horse, and get over there. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to tell you my life story. Not all of it. We ain't got time for that, and you don't have the money for that kind of therapy. So what I did was, there's that cat. These animals are just, they're out of control. This cat has been not bothering me, but like, you're going to pet me. And I mean it. So, my story, not all of it, just the highlights. So one of the things that I say a lot is I'm the best. Not because I'm bragging, so let's start there. Chick, leave the camera alone. Go over there. Go over there. Okay. So, and then, you got to explain to people because they don't understand what the best is. What is the best? So, I did a lot of studying on how we come to be who we are and how we think. Like, I think I'm the best. That's not. So, I explain this to you, and you're the best too. Let's just confirm that. If you do, very simply, what you're supposed to do. Okay? You want to be the best kid? Do what your parents tell you to do. You'll be the best. You want to be the best at anything, you do what you're supposed to do. So let's talk about that. How I came to be the best, or how I came to think I was the best. Because I started studying how this works and stuff, and I was like, where did that come from? So where it came from was when I was like 14, I got a paper route in my brother's name because I was not old enough to have one, but I needed to get some money. I had to start working. So I did this paper route, and all I did was what I was supposed to do. I delivered their paper every day, dry, on time. And there's people, that would dump the paper in their paper out. They'd dump it in the river and do stuff like that. And I just, even at a young age, I couldn't understand why people would do that. I didn't know. I was a kid. I just didn't know people are that way. Thought everybody believed in God when I grew up. That's something that never gets talked about. But that's just how, I grew up thinking everybody believed in God and you just do what you're supposed to do. And so the people on the paper route, they said I was the best paper boy they ever had. I didn't do anything I didn't do anything special. I delivered their paper like I was supposed to, dry. When you're delivering, when you got a paper route, rain, sleet, or snow, you don't decide the weather. So, and I had the biggest paper route in the city. The Sundays were fun. Oh yeah, them were fun days for Sundays. But I got it done. And so that's where I traced it back to that particular moment in my life where people started saying I was the best. And I'm not better than anybody. I just did what I was supposed to do and nobody else did. So as I didn't know this type of thing, I realized how few people do what they're supposed to do. And I'm going to talk about Trevor Brazile. He's one of the, he's like the guy. And you know what he did? All he did. You think it was something special he did? No, he did what he was supposed to do. And he worked his butt off. It rain, shine, sleet, or snow, we're delivering the paper. And when you consistently do what you're supposed to do, the world sees something they ain't never seen before. Because people don't do what they're supposed to do. And that's just the truth. And you want to be the best husband? Do what you're supposed to do. You want to be the best wife? Do what you're supposed to do. You want to be the best employee? Do what you're supposed to do. Okay? You just go in there. I don't even want. We're gonna stop there with that because I'll get fired up. But in what I realized through all this, learning this too, is because when I started my roofing company, I didn't want all the money. I wanted to hire people and share all the money and be, there's enough money for everybody. So I wanted to just have everybody be the boss. I got this stuck on her foot. I'm too good at roping. But they won't do it. They won't do what they're supposed to do. So then I'm stuck doing everything and having people help me do stuff. Because they won't do what they're supposed to do. They're too busy worried about what everybody else is doing. And so that never worked out. Because I was like, man, the construction business is a dead end for employees. You're never going to make a living. You can make a living, but at the end of your career, you got nothing. The owners have everything. The owners have all the money, the houses, the cars, all the stuff the world tells you. The world tells you if you have all that stuff, you're successful. It's the biggest delusion ever seen by me. And I've had all that, and it's nice, but I had to work for it. But anyway, so I'm getting off track a little bit. So then I went to work roofing, stayed there long enough. So then before I started roofing, this is my early 20s, 21, 20, 21, 22, I don't know. But I went to school, had a few jobs before that. The one job was you put two parts together, put it in the machine and crimp it, and the record was like 500. I did 1,500. That's like, not even, can't believe it. So then I had a job at Kentucky Fried Chicken and bred 5 trays of chicken in 9 minutes. I did it in 4.5. So I'm starting to do stuff where it's like, but it's work though. It's like this things people do, it's the effort they put in to get there. And I put that kind of effort in, just like when I roofed houses. So I started roofing houses, and I didn't know. So then when I was in school for motorcycle mechanics, the teacher would mess with our motors and stuff when we left. And they flipped the point cam 180 degrees. And I've had so many things. My Harley spun the thing and it flipped over and just stuck at exactly 180 degrees. And then my buddy had a Cutlass and they had the cam timed out 180 degrees. And then something else was 180 degrees out. My life, I had that running about 180 degrees out. It was running, but it was 180 degrees out. And then, so they flipped that point cam like that, and the teacher did it to every class. And it took me literally as long as it takes to go through every part of the motor to figure it out. And the teacher was like, wow, nobody's ever done that before. And so I'm getting to a good point here. So then I figured things out relatively easy. I got a job doing shutters, and I had them all pre-sized and done at the end of the week where I was waiting. And there wasn't even no place to put stuff when I started. So I had gotten to, you're talking early 20s, to a point to where it's like, I'll figure things out, but it's not without effort. I studied every part of the motor. And he'd had people, 30 kids in the class for a month couldn't figure it out. And I figured it out in like 10 seconds or however long it takes to go through every part in the bike, because I knew what every part did. So, because I studied, 4-pointed the class, everything. I 4-pointed the whole thing. And so I start roofing. Can't figure it out. I'm not talking about flashing around a chimney or, putting a roof together. I'm talking about shingle in a straight run. Speed. The speed to go, shingle and straight. You can't go fast if you can't, you gotta. So I worked for like 2 years, didn't even know there was a gauge on the gun to gauge your shingles, and that's because it's slow. That's why nobody used it. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, man, it was kind of the first thing in my life that I really couldn't figure out. But I kept showing up every day. And my point is, I want you to really listen. If there's something you're not figuring out, don't give up. You will get it eventually, and I pray for understanding, and I wonder if people do that sometimes, because all my understanding comes from God. Let's go with that. So I figure all these things out before I start roofing, and I ask God for understanding when I don't understand something, and He gives it to me quickly when I was young. And then I started getting older. It's like, man, He's taking His sweet time getting me to understand this. So I got good. I do it for a living now. One of the things with roofing is I was taught by the best. And that's why this horse trainer I got he's the best. I mean, there's people as good as him, but there ain't people better. And so I learned from the best. And then, so because I learned from the best, people can't believe, shingling 10 square in an hour. So I'm on these pro pages and they're like, not even possible. Well, the thing with that, not only being possible, I'm not special. Everybody can do it that I grew up around. Everybody did 10 square an hour. It's not like that's just a regular pro level speed. It's not like Super Bowl champion 5 times in a row speed. It's just a regular, see how she's backing up? That's a thing. That's just a regular pro level speed. Not a 5-time Super Bowl champion speed, just regular. And nobody believes it. And I'm like, well, now we have online and we can see how people are shingling. And I'm like, no wonder they can't do it. They're setting their gun down. They got one guy handing them one shingle at a time. Just unbelievable how they do it. And why they can't believe it's possible. And I could teach them how to do it. But so anyways, my point, my life story is, let's not fall asleep here, buddy. My life story is, I got started doing things like I was supposed to do. And then, I started roofing, and then how many times people said, I had no idea you could shingle that fast. And I'm like, yeah, don't tell nobody either, because holy crap, I ain't trying to do it. I'm not trying to be that fast. I mean, it's a lot of work. So, but just over and over, and not only fast, but quality. Like I've hired guys that are fast as me, but they start thinking they're better than the boss, which they were not, because my quality was perfect. I hit the nail in the exact spot where it goes every time, because I practiced doing it right. And then I would hire people that would shingle wrong. They were fast, but they wouldn't shingle the line in the shingles. And I explained to them, you can do it just as fast right as you can wrong if you practice doing it right. If you stop, slow down, and do it right, you'll be just as fast as you are now. Because your brain is programming how to do it. You have to understand the brain. So, and the guys that were good would do that. They would slow down, and they did get perfect. And so, if you worked for me and you didn't put your nail in the line, I would fire you. And everybody knew it. I had guys working on a job, and the guy's like, when he comes here, he's going to check where your nails are, and if they're not right, he'll fire you right now. It's like you don't try to do it right. You either put the nails where they go, or you try and find another job, because I can't fix that. I can fix everything else. That's the whole house. I can't fix that. I can fix a piece of flashing done wrong or whatever, but that I can't fix. That's the whole house. So anyway, so I practice doing things how they're supposed to be done. And then and anybody can do this. It's just, you just got to slow down. It's like with this horse. She's a little bit frustrating because of how fast this stuff works perfectly. And she's like, no, you're going to just have to keep doing what you do and it will come. And it is coming. And I just got to show up for work every day. See how she turned her head to me to put this bridle on? That's not something that happened. I got my gloves on, so I can't. Well, open your mouth. And that's something I wanted her to do. She's like turning her head into me, like pushing on me now. And it's like, okay, we go from one extreme to the other, where she's literally got her head in my armpit, cuddling me, to, her. And I just, the thing is, I wasn't worried about it. I'm like, just keep doing what you do. She will do exactly what she just did, and it will happen. And that's with her, as I learned that just throw everything away that you learned and just do it, but don't expect. It's not a good horse to show somebody. Like if you got a horse like this at them the colt starting challenges they do, you'd have to be able to ride a 90 because you're not getting on her that fast. It took me a month to put a saddle on her, but she wasn't ready to be rode anyway, so I had the time to put the saddle on her. I didn't need to hurry up. She was still a year old. She was still in her yearling year when I did it. So I didn't have to hurry up. Just like now, where, this whole year, people are like, you need to, these horses, some of these horses are already started and doing all the pattern, but really she wasn't really strong enough to ride a grown man, 200 pounds. So I wasn't, quit doing that. That's just going to take, I know why she's doing that. And it's just one of them things. It's just going to go away. But, so, being the best, doing what you're supposed to do. I didn't think I was ever going to be able to ride this horse because my physical abilities don't match up to hers. And, getting her to ride off with her head down like that, I didn't know if it was, I didn't, it was, that's the thing about seeing it come around. And you kind of seen everything I did on the ground with her, which was nothing. Just talking about, how I got where I'm at and why I think I don't need nobody giving me confidence. Okay? It's like when you're a coach will always do things for the player to build their confidence. They'll give them easy fights or easy, and then you just start getting your confidence because you can't beat confidence. Anybody that's winning all the time, it's because of their confidence. Also the work and being able to do it. But it's the confidence, it's the belief that you have is why they win. They believe in themselves and the horse. And when they have that doubt, they lose. And we hear it every time when people talk. I just felt, the horse wasn't there. The horse wasn't there. And then when it was time to show, it was like, bam, it was there. But they didn't quit, okay? Listen to me. They didn't quit. I went to the horse show with my first horse. Couldn't pick up a left and right lead. But I was there. I mean, it was like I've been working on it a lot, and come to find out, I didn't even, here's the funny thing about the trainer that's going to be riding this horse, Bill Thomas. Saginaw, Michigan, Performance Horses. He can, so some trainers can pick up a left and right lead on a horse very easily, and some can't. He's so good that he could pick up the left and right lead on a horse standing on the ground telling me when to do it. I mean to tell you, I picked up a left and right lead, I never missed a lead, okay? Not one time, not one single time did I miss a lead with him telling me now. And as soon as he walked away, I couldn't do it. So, and that's why he's riding this horse, is because not only can he pick a left and right lead up, he can do it standing on. I didn't know this when I showed the horse, but I could have walked into the circle and he could have yelled now, and I could have picked the lead up. I didn't even need to know how to do it. But he didn't tell me that. So I went to the horse show, and we probably talked 3 times the whole show, because all the work and all the, him telling me what to do was so much that I just needed to focus and just practice. I didn't really need him. All the information was there. I just needed to practice. And I did it. And all I wanted to do was a pattern and get a score on a horse that I got when it was a year old. I never trained a horse before in my life. And he's like, he goes, there's trainers that can't do that. Well, let me just tell you, I didn't do it. I couldn't do it today. Well, maybe today I might be able to do it, but it was him telling me what to do is how I did it. He did it. I was just the one riding the horse. I didn't really do anything. And some people, the thing is with that is some people start thinking they did it. Well, first it was God that did it, and then it was him, and then it was me. That's the order that got done in. God first, then him, then me. And people start thinking, because I did that, it's like people will do something like that and think they did it. I'm like, you didn't do nothing. You did what you were told, and when the person telling you to do it walked away, you couldn't do it. So, and I'm going to do a left and right lead on her. I'm probably not going to get her mentally where I'm at when I do it, because I want perfection. I want her mind to be right, and her to it's, long story short, it's going to take him to do that kind of stuff with her quicklier, faster, because of his timing and his feel, and just, he's professional. His whole life, it's like me roofing. I'm a professional roofer. There is nobody. I am at the elite level, and it's not a question. It's a matter of working my butt off to learn and study roofing, every kind of material there is: steel, shingles, tile, flat roofs. If it's on a house, if it's above you, I know how to do it. And no roofs leak.